video, we're going to be learning how to make a yarn pumpkin for the fall. So this craft will actually be available as a take-home kit for teens. It will be available during the week that this video comes out. It's only going to be at the Bay County Public Library, and you can pick one up in Youth Services. Just ask the Youth Services desk for a teen kit. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so we're going to get started with the orange yarn. Alright, so what we're going to do is take some yarn and we're going to make a type of pom-pom, because that's what this is. It's a little pom-pom I made. Okay, so what we're going to do is take the yarn and we're going to wrap it around our hands probably about 25 to 30 times. So what we're going to do is I'm going to gently slide it off my hand, trying to keep it together like this. Okay, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut it. I'm also going to take another piece of yarn and cut it. And we have our wrapped yarn here, and you see we have this opening. So what we're going to do is kind of fold it together in the middle here. Okay, so we have it kind of folded together. And what we're going to do is take our piece of yarn and tie it around the center. Try to keep it in the middle, okay? I'm going to tie it one more time. Tie another knot. Okay. Alright. Now I'm just going to trim that yarn right there, the tying piece. Let's put that to the side. Now, this is where we make our pom-pom. This is the center of the pom-pom, okay? So what I'm going to do is take my scissors, and I'm going to hold this in, and I'm just going to start cutting on the edge here. Go really slow and try to make sure you cut all of them, okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So, this is the beginning of our pom-pom. So what we're going to do is kind of rough it up a little bit. You might want to do this over a garbage can because it releases a lot of fuzz. But I'm going to kind of roll it up in my hands. It's making it sort of become one big pom-pom so it doesn't look too separated. Now we will have to trim it some, okay? So I'm going to trim this into a roundish shape, kind of like this one. Alright, be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I've trimmed them up a little bit, okay? Now you can always do a little bit more trimming afterwards if you need to, just sort of shape it the way you want, okay? Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a stem. Alright, so I used orange yarn for this, and now what I'm going to use is a piece of brown felt. So you're going to get a piece of felt in your teen kit. You're going to get some yarn and some felt. So what we're going to do is, to make this stem, we just roll this up. So let me see what kind of size stem this is. You might have to trim it a little bit. So see, that's kind of big. We want it a little bit smaller than that. Probably going to cut it in half. Okay, let's see. That's a pretty good size stem. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's a good stem. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to use hot glue because this is quicker. You could use tacky glue, but you might have to hold it together to let it dry, okay? So, let me just roll it up again. And what I'm going to do is leave a little bit of space here, and we are going to glue that little flap. Roll it up tight. Okay, so I've got a little bit of hot glue. Be careful and don't burn yourself with this. If you use hot glue, you can burn yourself. Okay, and now I'm just going to kind of roll it up and kind of hold it for a minute. Let it glue together. You can always pick the little strings of glue off. So now we have a stem. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to hot glue this to the pumpkin. So what you do is pick a good spot. You know, the spot that you think looks like a good spot to be the top of the pumpkin. I think this is good. I'm going to kind of glue it to that center where we tied it. Pick a side that you want to be the top of the stem. I think I'll go with this side. So I'm going to take my hot glue, put it on the end that I want to glue to the pumpkin. Now I'm just going to put that right there, and I'm going to hold it for a second and let it settle in. That looks pretty good. All right, now we're going to make the vine. So we got some leaves on this one, and we've got some vine. So the vine is yarn, okay? And the leaves are made out of green felt. So we got some felt, and this is going to come in your kit. And we got some yarn, which will come in the kit. Okay, I'm just going to cut a little piece. All right, so what I'm going to do is tie this. I'm going to go ahead and tie this around the stem. I'm not gluing it, I'm just tying it on. Okay, and scoot it down to the base of the stem. Doesn't have to be tied too tight. You don't want to mess up your stem or squeeze it too hard. Okay, now I have some vines. They're a little long. I think I'll trim them. Okay, now we're going to cut out some leaves for the pumpkins. So I went ahead and drew pumpkin leaves, sort of traditional pumpkin leaves. Now you can be creative, you can draw whatever type of leaves you want. So I've cut out 2 little leaves. All right, I'm going to glue them with the if you see where you drew the leaf, like the pin marks, I'm going to glue that side down, okay? I don't like to see pin marks. Okay, so again, we're going to use some hot glue. I'm going to take our hot glue, and I'm just going to put a little dot on the end of the leaf here. Not too much. Okay, so I'm going to glue this onto my vine. Be very careful, don't burn yourself if you're using hot glue. And try not to get it on the orange yarn either. Okay, let it cool a little bit. When it cools a little, I can kind of squeeze it on a little bit better, and it won't burn me. Okay, so you can see that I glued on one leaf, and I'll go ahead and do the other. So we have finished our leaves and our vines, but say we want to shape him a little bit more, you're welcome to do that at this point. So I'm back, and I shaped it into a little bit more of a round shape, and that's it. So what you will get again in your kit is you're going to get orange yarn, green yarn, brown felt, green felt, okay? You will have to have your own glue and do the drawing of the leaves. Okay, thank you for watching. Please subscribe.